Here's another one from Awesome Business Curriculum. In this project, students are going to learn how to buy a house, and it's through a dynamic simulation that I'll show you. This is a 2-week project. Everything's included. Let's get at it. This is the digital resource that students use as they're working through this project. As you can see, it's stepped out, so we have all the steps going down. This project has 6 steps, and it has the grading rubric embedded. So as students finish step 1, they come down and they grade their work, and then you can reinforce it, check it, and then enter it into your grade book. This is great for independent learning students, for your whole class, all sorts of applications with this digital packet here. Let's go look at step 1. Find an apartment to rent. So students scroll down, they read a scenario. Hey, they have an aunt named Yer, and she wants to move. She's currently renting an apartment, blah, 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 gives you some details. And so your job is she wants your help. Your job is to help her both find an apartment to rent and a home to buy. And then, this is where it gets pretty sophisticated. You're going to compare the financial returns, comparing whether she rents or whether she buys. And it gets a little bit more sophisticated than that, but we'll stick there for a second. So I built a simulator right here. So students will have access to this simulator. Should I rent an apartment or buy a house? And you can see we have it all stepped out. Step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way over. Long story short, the students are going to be first renting an apartment. So they're going to go out to like Trulia and these other websites that in this case is apartment.com. They're going to figure out what kind of apartment they want, what price they can afford. Then they're going to go out and they're actually going to find an apartment to rent, and they're going to put all their information right here. The simulator gives them, hey, rent per month, rent per year, and then they can calculate how much rent is going to cost over a number of years. So you can see over 15 years, they're going to pay $270,000 in rent. And they, this is all dynamic, so they can change this and everything will adapt, etc. All right, so hey, they found an apartment for their aunt. Now they want to explore renting or buying a home. Well, the first step there is to get pre-qualified for a loan. And so they're going to come in, they're going to put in some information about their income. Again, this is all built out in the scenario. They're going to put some debt information, their credit score, and it's going to give them what the bank pre-qualifies them for a monthly mortgage. They're going to use this monthly mortgage calculator to figure out what is the max home price they can afford. And in this case, it's $400,000. This is the max house they can afford. So they've just been pre-qualified for a loan. Well, hey, that brings us to step 3. Let's go find a home. So they're going to use Trulia. So they're going to go out on Trulia. They're going to find a house that fits their needs and their budget. They're going to put their information here. And then they're going to use that information to calculate their monthly mortgage payment. So, they'll put some information here. They'll use this tax calculator to figure out how much taxes they're going to pay. They're going to get their interest rate. And this is cool because the interest rate is derived from these 3 elements: their credit score, their down payment, and their loan amount. And so students can understand that that's how interest rates are calculated. They're going to use that interest rate to calculate their actual their current principal and interest payment per month. And so they'll use this calculator. They'll get that information. And then from that they'll get their monthly mortgage. By the way, this is all calculated. Notice that this is a simulator that's all kind of dynamically built. So they only fill in the pink cells, and then the automation comes in and fills out the rest. This is cool because it shows the students how your monthly mortgage is derived. So we got principal and interest, taxes, homeowner insurance, HOA fees, private mortgage, etc. So students get to learn this. I didn't learn this until I was like 35, and students in high school are going to be able to learn this. It's going to show them, hey, currently you are trying to buy a house with a monthly mortgage of $1,500. The bank will loan you a house, or loan you enough to get a house for $5,500 a month. But there's a safe number, and that safe number, given all of your information, is $900 a month. So this is just saying to them, hey, you can buy this house for this amount, but hey, it's safe if you knock it down a bit. And it gives them ways to, some ways to achieve a higher mortgage rate. So increase their monthly income, decrease their debt, or find a cheaper home. Okay, then this is really interesting for students. This tells students the cost of the total loan. And so they're going to be taking out, they're going to be taking out like $195,000 in loans. In this case, your students are going to be different, but I'm just saying in this case, they're going to be borrowing $195,000. Well, guess what? In the very end, they're going to be paying back $386,000. So that's pretty impressive. Students are just surprised by this. It shows how the loan is amortized across 30 years. And so this is dynamic information that updates given their data input. So this is real stuff. They'll be able to look and see like, hey, for the first 15 years, more than half of your your mortgage payment goes to the bank, and then some of it goes to the principal. All right, so hey, we just figured out buying a house. Well, this is where it gets really fun for students. Let me show you this. Now we're going to start talking about increasing the value of your home so they can build wealth. And we do that through remodeling. So they're going to come in and they're going to figure out how they want to remodel their home. Let's say they want to finish their garage. They want to finish an attic, add a bedroom to the second floor, refinish the kitchen in different ways, or finish the basement in different ways. This gives them approximate cost for doing these. So for instance, if they wanted to finish their garage with drywall and insulation, it's going to cost about $8,000. If they want to add 2 bedrooms and a bathroom to the attic, that's going to cost about $60,000. All right, so that's pretty cool. But what gets really fun with this is understanding that when you do things like this, when you finish the attic, it increases the value of your home. And so they can come up here and say, hey, currently your house price is $285,000. But if you start doing some of these renovations, you're going to see that your house price goes up because you're adding value to your house. So students, and some of these add a lot of value and other ones don't. Watch this. Adding skylights is going to cost you $12,000, but it's not going to add that much in terms of your home value. And so students get to come over here and play with these and figure out what's going to add the most value. All right. Then they come down here and they can start to understand the profit that they're going to get from doing these renovations. And so they can see like, hey, here's your house value over time given if you don't do any renovations. The blue line is just your house value, and you can see that it grows over time. But if you start to remodel your home based off of this, this is how your housing price can increase over, look, we got 15 years here. So students love this. They love playing with this and imagining, and they love understanding wealth building. All right, so once they got there, now we start thinking about really digging into what equity is on your home. And so they come in here and they can start playing with years. So after I own this for 7 years, based on everything that I've entered so far, the total equity on my house will be around $250,000. That means I still have some debt, but I have a lot of equity. And you can see if I choose like the first year, I got a lot of debt and not much equity. And so I got $90,000 in equity after I do these renovations. Hey, well, to pay for that remodel, they're going to have to take out another loan. We generally call it a HELOC, home equity line of credit loan, and so they're going to use this calculator here to calculate how much they're going to need to take out, what their interest rate is going to be. And then what's fun about this is it's gonna show them, hey, if you do this, it's gonna add $250 a month to your mortgage. And so here's your new mortgage right here, $1,800. We do all of that. So look at it. We rented an apartment. We got pre-qualified for a loan. We went out, we found a home to buy. We renovated our home. We planned the renovation for our home, and then we took out a loan for that renovation. Now comes the conclusion. Which is better, renting or buying? And I've set up 3 scenarios here. First of all, these are your options: renting, buying with no renovation, and buying with renovation. So it gives them some information to consider. Then we start looking at comparing the wealth. Now check this out. I have it set up on 1 year, 5 years, and 15 years. And I have 4 options. I say, hey, let's imagine that you're a renter. And let's imagine that this would be the savings that you earn from the difference of renting at $1,500 a month, or buying a house with no renovation, or buying a house with renovation. These are your monthly mortgage payments. Now again, this is all dynamic. So a student, when they enter their information, this is all going to update and be personalized for them. And so you can see over the course of 5 years, they're going to save $3,000 just by, in this case, renting over buying. Okay, well, wonder if they took that $3,000 and they invested it in the stock market at an 8% return. Now they can play with this. They can come and say, wonder if it's a 4% return, or wonder if it's a 10% return. And they can see what that does to the wealth gained. And so you can see over 3 years, if they invested $3,000, it would be, they would earn about $800 on a 10% investment. But look at this. After 15 years, now they're starting to climb. Now it's $20,000. Okay, but look at this. Let's imagine that they bought a house with no renovation. Now their wealth is going to be $22,000 after 1 year. That's just the value increase of the home. $133,000 after 5 years, and almost $600,000 at an 8% property value growth. And again, they can come here and play with this. So if they wanted to say 1%, etc., they could see how it plays out. With renovation, you can see that they bought a house, they renovated it, and over time, this is how it's going to increase in value, and this is their equity, their wealth gained. So they can compare. They can say, after 15 years, if I just rent and save, I'm going to have $9,000. If I rent and invest, I'll have $20,000. If I buy and don't renovate, I can have $300,000. And if I buy and renovate, it could be up to $500,000. this is the fun part, because students get to envision themselves, being landowners and being increasing their wealth through land ownership and renovation. By the way, this is all stepped out in our packet right here. So we're back to the digital learning packet. We're going down. We're looking at steps. So find an apartment to rent, get pre-qualified for a loan. It gives them information, and then they plug in. They do their thing in the simulator, and they come back here and answer this. They find a home to buy, and then they answer these questions, etc. So they renovate their home. They figure out financing, and then they start to reflect. What are the pros and cons of renting versus buying? They give a recommendation to their aunt, and they give some reasons, etc. So that is the project. It's really exciting. Students love this project, and know that this project was designed with a data analyst, a teacher, and a mortgage loan officer. And so, there's a lot of professional wisdom baked into this, and students love it. All right, well, hey, that's the project. I hope you love it, and I hope you're successful with your students. If you have any questions about it, email at awesomebusinesscurriculum@gmail.com.